Ladies and gents, welcome back. Just one video this morning, and a quick little reminder to tune into the live stream tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Check your local listings. Tomorrow I'll also be doing a live stream at 11 a.m. Pacific time, where I'll be talking with James Topp as he's marching across Canada. So check that out. But let's get into the story here. In Davos, global elites conspire to take away your rights. Yeah, they're conspiring to do that, all right, but up until only a few months ago, this was considered conspiracy theory. And we have this here right in our own government. I'll show you this clip real quick.
Comments, the honourable member for Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to my colleague's speech. I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering, in the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? My concern is the deputy.
Order. I know the member was in a really good question there, but the audio was really bad, and the video is really bad as well. And I apologize. I don't know if the member. Okay.
Gotta cut him off.
Let's try again.
Can't talk about that.
The honourable member for Timmins James Bay.
Mr. Speaker, that member is promoting open disinformation. That's not debate. We have to call it disinformation.
We'll get into debate again. The honourable member.
Okay, so they just moved on, and they didn't want to talk about it because apparently it's a conspiracy. Anyway, it's no longer conspiracy theory. Here we are. We've got the Washington Times writing an article about it, and it's out in the open. But yeah, feigning that the audio was bad when we all could hear it completely clearly, and even the other member could hear it in order to call it disinformation, whatever. But here we are. Davos, global elites conspire to take away your rights. And it's funny because now you have reporters going to this annual meeting for the World Economic Forum where they can, well, you hear about it in this story. The future is built by us, a powerful community. We are all, as you hear in this room, Klaus Schwab, the founder and executive chair of the World Economic Forum, reminded the attendees at his conference in Davos, Switzerland this week. I actually have a clip of him saying that.
The future is not just happening. The future is built by us, by a powerful community as you here in this room. We have the means to improve the states of the world. But two conditions are necessary. The first one is that we act all as stakeholders of larger communities, that we serve not our only self-interests, but we serve the community. That's what we call stakeholder responsibility. And second, that we collaborate.
Collaborate. Of course, he's not talking about your community. He's talking about larger communities of billionaires and the ultra, what they call themselves, elites. That's their nickname that they give themselves to make them feel better about what it is that they're doing here. However, this perfect future is achievable only if the global elites act as stakeholders of larger communities and if they collaborate. He said, Mr. Schwab, a German economist who was born in Ravensburg in 1938. His father was part of the funny mustache man clan who served on the Third Reich war effort and the director of Esther Weiss, an industrial company with manufactured flamethrowers to kill Allied soldiers. Now we have here Klaus and his daddy Jürgen Schwab. That was in uniform. Here we are. And it's interesting because this is what he manufactured, flamethrowers. And according to Protocol 2 of the Geneva Convention on certain conventional weapons, although flamethrowers aren't entirely banned, they can't use them for frying your enemies. This clause prohibits the use of incendiary weapons on people. You can, however, use them to clear foliage. But that wasn't the intended purpose for Mr. Schwab in his practice here. Today, Mr. Schwab hosts a conference nestled in the Swiss Alps for high-powered leaders to shape global, regional, and industrial agendas. He has urged politicians, bankers, oligarchs, and autocrats alike to seize on the COVID-19 pandemic to reshape and reset the world, basically to use the crisis as a way to make governments bigger, more powerful, and globally intertwined while curtailing citizens' individual liberties to quiet any dissent. If you don't agree with what that statement says, well, you can just read the book. He published it. It's been available since July 9th, 2020. He had it ready to go as this pandemic took off. But I digress on that. In one forum this week, Australian Safety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant, whose nation imposed a zero COVID policy, locking down cities and detaining citizens who violated mandatory quarantines, suggested that some human rights, such as freedom of speech, need to be sacrificed. We are finding ourselves in a place where we have increasing polarization everywhere. Everything feels binary when it doesn't need to be, she explained. So I think we're going to have to think about a recalibration of a whole range of human rights that are playing out online, from freedom of speech to the freedom to be free from online violence. A user who first tweeted this clip of Miss Grant saying this was suspended from Twitter shortly thereafter. Perhaps this is recalibration of freedom of speech, Miss Grant was suggesting. Wow, just posting what she had to say was against Twitter's terms of service. Well, we're just all waiting and hoping that Elon Musk actually does take over the platform to stop things like that from happening. Conservative journalist Jack Sobek, who was in Davos filming a documentary for the conference, and its founder for Turning Point USA, said he was detained by armed police officers at the forum on Monday. More than 5,000 military personnel and local police are on the ground, and a no-fly zone over Davos has been enforced by fighter jets. Wow, they not only do they have their own police force, but it seems like they have their own military force. Now, when Jack Sobek posted that, I did a story on it, and people were saying, oh, this is amazing, they have their own police force. Of course, I believe it was Reuters that made a fact-check article. You can check that out on Viva Fry's channel. He did a funny review of that fact-check, which was a non-fact-check, where they just said, nope, it's not true at the beginning of the article, and then nope, it's not true at the end, but then the whole meat of the article was actually confirming the fact that they have their own police force. That is hilarious. The global elite love their privacy, not just for ordinary citizens they rule over. In another Davos forum this week, Yuval Noah Harari, an Israeli public intellectual, I love that, public intellectual, that's a career now, and professor in the Department of History at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, outlined how COVID-19 should be used to track everyday people. Why is it always that public intellectuals try to weasel their way into positions of power? Just be an intellectual, write books. COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. Mr. Harari said, we need to not just monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin. If that's not creepy enough, in the name of climate change, Alibaba Group President J. Michael Evans detailed plans on how to accomplish this total surveillance. We're developing through technology an ability for customers to measure their own global footprint. What does that mean? Hey, I got the clip. Why not just watch the clip?
We're developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean?
Oh.
That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker. Stay tuned. We don't have it operational yet, but this is something that we're working on. We're developing.
Wow, that sounds like something you could use to track your own stuff. Wait a second. Could other people track you? Yes, that's the point. It's not about you tracking your own stuff. Curbing global climate change, which Davos attendees claim is triggered by human-generated carbon emissions, was the original purpose of the World Economic Forum conference. COVID-19, however, became the new tool for these elites to amass and extract their power. More than 200 billionaires across the globe became $3.78 trillion richer during the COVID-19 pandemic. On Monday, Oxfam International said that 573 people became new billionaires during the crisis at a rate of one every 30 hours in the first 24 months of the COVID-19. Billionaires' wealth rose more than in 23 years combined, according to the report. So, yeah, growing wealth inequality, while they're saying at the same time, we need to shrink the global wealth inequality. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They just want more power. Meanwhile, 1 million people could fall into poverty over the same rate this year as the cost of essential goods rise faster than it has in decades, the report detailed. And this is why there's a giant disconnect between these global elitists and, grassroots people, just people. And there's these grassroots groundswell happening with the big bad word, populism. The idea that a candidate or somebody could rise through the ranks because, I don't know, maybe they address the concerns of the average ordinary citizen. Davos attendees discussed how the global energy upheaval will serve as a transition to green energy. This, as experts predicted, up to 1,500 individual private flights flew in and out of the airfields serving the Swiss ski town this week. Because if you nickname yourself elite, you're not the kind of person who likes to carpool. Norwegian finance CEO Kirsten Bathern admitted there will be mass shortages and economic hardship for millions, but the pain is worth it. This is a sacrifice I'm willing to make, they said. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the economics of the future no longer will rely on oil and coal. And President Joe Biden, while not in Davos, echoed their comments Monday, saying, when it comes to the gas prices, come on, man. We're going through an incredible transition. Where am I? What's happening here? The ruling class can't afford this transition, but the rest of us, the billionaires in Davos, don't care. So as long as they hold on to their wealth, power, and position. And this week, they were hatching a plan to do absolutely just that. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think. Is this a conspiracy theory? It's out of the cat's out of the bag now. We got actual reporters going to the scene of Davos. It's not just their crappy YouTube channel that gets hardly any views. It's a big deal that these people are penetrating the cabinets. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. How do we get away from dealing with this, and how is it that we can get our democracy back? As they claim they like democracy, but they infiltrate democracy and subvert it, all in the name of this new reset they claim they want to have. Anyway, I'm running too long in this video, so tune in to the live stream tonight at 6:30, tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Of course, check your local listings. We'll see you there. Keep on trucking.